Content/trigger warning. I'm going to be discussing the art of live play D&D that involves real live people. And this is a subject that some people find very controversial. Also, there are names involved, which I'm probably going to mispronounce, so please do not get upset at me if I mispronounce your name. I will spell out any name that I mispronounce, but understand it's not me being insulting or racist. It's simply that I have issues with names. Moving on. It is 10 o'clock in the morning. It is the 6th day of November 2021. It is a foggy, gray, spooky, cold November morning, and I am your guide to all the tabletop role-playing game news, weather, sports, way too much controversy, speculation, and general internet nonsense that is the man known as the OGGM. And today we're discussing Battle for Beyond. Battle for Beyond. So this was announced last night. We don't know a lot about it, but there's some wording here that's very unusual. So that's what we're going to discuss. So again, if the idea of actual play, live play series, and somebody being less than positive about them is something that upsets you, probably should stop watching this now. So we had already known that this was going to happen in some form or another. It had been announced earlier last month, I believe, that there was going to be some live play stuff coming to your local cable provider. And the first one seems to have been announced. It's called D&D Battle for Beyond. It's a star-studded new actual play series. A cast of actual play stars will come together for a new adventure. And this is from a couple different articles that were published last night. So I'm just reading what's wrote. Don't be upset at me. Battle for Beyond is a 6-part Dungeons & Dragons adventure series sponsored by D&D Beyond. Will bring together some of the most popular performers in the tabletop role-playing game community. After rolling a series of announcements, but they did their rolling, as in rolling dice. Rolling a series of announcements on social media all week long, the full cast has finally been revealed for the miniseries, which kicks off on November 12th. Where does it kick off on November 12th? Oh, it'll be on the D&D Beyond YouTube channel. Calling it now, sooner or later, Critical Role will have their own direct streaming service, or some form of D&D live played streaming service will exist before, 2021? I'm calling before 2025. There will be a D&D live play streaming service. All right. The campaign features an all-star cast of RPG players. Jasmine Bueller, Into the Motherlands, will serve as Dungeon Master, while players Abria Ayengar, Aabria, Iyengar. Again, I apologize if I'm mispronouncing your name, miss. It is not me being insulting. Abria, I'm 90% sure that is how you pronounce her first name. Iyengar. Ayengar? Ayengar. Abria Ayengar. Who was the DM of Critical Role Exandia Unlimited. We know that there were definitely two sides on that one. A lot of people said Critical Role Exandia Unlimited was really bad, and the same amount of people said Critical Role Exandia Unlimited was really good. So take what that means with a grain of salt. Brennan Lee Mulligan, Dimension 20, and LA. What is Dimension 20? It's another actual play series on a different thingy. And Into the Motherlands, let's just check what that is before I get that one. Oh, that's that Afrofuturistic game inspired by Black Panther and Star Trek. It's a tabletop role-playing game. We had talked about it before. That is Jasmine Bueller. I guess she had something to do with the creation of that game. The campaign features the all-star cast of players: Jasmine Bueller, Abria, Brennan Lee Mulligan, LA-based actress Josephine McAdam, Emma Fee, Fyffe, gaming producer at Fandom, Erica Ishii, Ishii, voice actor in Apex Legends and Destiny 2, and Ife Nawadwi. Oh, God, I'm sorry. Okay, Emma Fee is Fyfee. We have Erica Ishashi, Ishii, and Afayi Nawadwi, Nwadiwe. Again, I apologize if I am mispronouncing your name, ladies and gentlemen. It is not me being insulting. It is really just my brain has an issue with names. This announcement effectively brings together the who's who list from some of the most popular actual play troops in the world. Each participant will be bringing their own flair and respective experiences to the table. You can check out the cast's full profiles at D&D Beyond. The sheer chaos and unwheeling joy at this table, Quiddy, Erica Shashi, JVCIM, MFA, and Ife Nawadi are beyond belief. See how beyond was all capitalized? Effortlessly heart-wrenching and hilarious, and the Bronze Girl is a straight-up improv genius whose mastery over this game is unparalleled. You gotta watch. Fans are already expressing their excitement online, saying, "This lineup is everything." Cast member Brennan Lee Mulligan posted an announcement tweet calling the group Beyond, because it's D&D Beyond. Brilliant, effortlessly heart-wrenching, and hilarious. Battle for Beyond will premiere November 12th on D&D Beyond YouTube channel. Episodes will go live every Friday at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for 6 consecutive weeks. So there we go. Somebody else is jumping into the D&D live play swimming pool. So, here's where we get controversial. Some of the most popular performers in tabletop role-playing game community. A who's who list of some of the most popular actual play troops in the world. In the world. If I go to China, they're going to know who these people are. So here's where we get to the controversy. Actual play troops and performers in tabletop role-playing game. Now, is that saying these are people who are professional performers that also happen to play tabletop role-playing game? All of them are professional actors or some form or another, except, of course, as far as we know, the only one who's a professional actress is Josephine McAdam. Emmy Fifi is a gaming producer. Erica is a voice actor. So they all are maybe actors. We don't really know. Let's check the profiles. She was on Into the Motherlands, Relics and Rarities, and Shakir, so she's a popular D&D performer. We have Abria, who did the Critical Role and also has been on Dimension and Into the Motherlands. We have Brennan Lee Milligan, Dungeon Master for Dimension 20, cast member of College Humor. He has taught and performed at the Upright Citizens Brigade Theories. So, yeah, I guess he classifies as a professional performer. Josephine McAdam is a Los Angeles-based actress who's appeared in over 20 independent films. We have Emma, who's a gaming content producer at Phantom, and she's done live play series, including Pencils and Parsecs and He Left It Dead and Hyper RPG. We have Erica, who is a voiceover actress, and we have Iffy, comedian, actor, writer, and professional nerd who joins the thing. She's done video games, TV shows, stuff like that. So, yes, they are all performers. So they have all done something that relates to the art of professional performing for money or whatever. So, when saying this is a all-star cast of popular performers, are you saying that, well, they're all performers who just happen to play D&D? Or are you saying that they are D&D performers, that what they do is a performance of D&D? And that's where we get to the controversy. Actual play troops, performers. Now, on the surface, that sounds like you're saying these people are actors portraying the game of Dungeons and Dragons. They're doing a performance. They are an acting troupe putting on a performance of Dungeons and Dragons. This is not real D&D. This is a performance of Dungeons and Dragons. It's scripted. It's going to have a high level of expectation. It's going to do things in order to engage the audience. It's not really going to be an actual live play Dungeons & Dragons. It's going to be a performance of a live play Dungeons & Dragons because they are a Dungeons & Dragons acting troupe. They are performers. That's one way to look at it. Which is pretty much admitting, yes, this is going to be scripted. The other way to look at it is simply saying these people have done live plays in the past. They are all professional performers in professions that require acting in some form or another, or working throughout the theater world in some form of another. And so because they have done live plays on other things, they are part of live play troupes, and they also happen to be professional performers, but that doesn't have anything to do with what we're gonna see. The controversy, of course, being, are things like this scripted? And we know that I have said on multiple occasions and gotten lambasted for it that my idea is that Critical Role and shows like this are scripted. They sort of have to be now because of the expectations in order to continue to engage the audience. They kind of have to tweak things. Maybe it wasn't in the beginning, but it's my belief that shows like this are scripted. I have yet to see anybody prove me wrong. I mean, you can argue with me, but but I have no actual proof other than what my general understanding of how productions work, being a former theater major and published screenplay writer. So what does this mean? Is it just a bunch of nerd people who are going to play D&D? It happens to be filmed, and it's not, it's going to be whatever happens, no editing, no whatever. They're just people who play in D&D. It just happens to be being filmed and whatever. Or is it a performance? Are they an acting troupe performing D&D? And, we know there's going to be people who are going to say, no, it's scripted. It's a performance. It's a troupe. They're actors. If they're not referring to themselves as players, right there is the difference. Yes, it is a production, and there's going to be people who say, no, you're completely wrong. It's simply how that's phrased, but no, this is going to be a live play. There's going to be no production other than, cameras and stuff like that. But what we get is what we see. There's no scripting. There's equal arguments for both. So, yeah, and there's a lot of choices here that you can make several layers of investment into. You can dig deep into the multiple layers of this, or you can simply say, whatever, it's another, D&D live play, and I really don't care. It's not going to change how I play. And at the end of the day, it's not going to change how you play. Please stop holding things like this as the level of the way people should play, because no one can play like these people, because only these people can play like these people. No one can play like Critical Role. Only Critical Role can play like Critical Role. So no matter what, stop having this expectation that the actual game is going to be like what you saw on YouTube. I think that's something they would agree with, if nothing else with me, that, hey, our thing is our thing. Do your thing. Stop trying to do our thing. What do you think? Is this going to be an actual live play, or is this going to be a production? And are things like this the future of the hobby? Is virtual actual play D&D just going to be the way people are now exposed to the hobby? Calling it now, by 2025, there will be a direct streaming service that just does Dungeons and Dragons and other tabletop role-playing game streams. What do you think? Let me know. If you have any comments, let me know. Remember, I'm not trying to be insulting if I got the names wrong, so again, I apologize. If you want to talk about this some more, let me know. If you never want to talk about this ever again, let me know. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. You know, if I hit 1,000 subs, I'll do something crazy. Till next time, I am the OGGM. Get off my land.